Hey everyone, happy Sunday to you. I hope all is well. Great job on your treatment plans. I still need to meet with two of you to review them, so please make an effort to get with me this week. I was able to follow everyone's thought process. There's some work we got to do on them in many cases, but it's minor. You guys did a great job. In most cases, it's doing too much, honestly. So great job. Like I said, I've already met with a couple of you, and I need to meet with the other two. But so make that happen this week, please. That said, this was just an intro to that. You'll have many other opportunities to hone your skills on treatment planning. You should have a whole nother class on assessment, diagnosis, treatment planning, all those things, right? And it'll be something you use your entire career. So I hope some of the things I shared with you was valuable and, ways to, move forward. And I know one of you had bought that planner. That's awesome. I'd encourage you all to spend the money on that planner. It's a wonderful tool, right? So that said, this week we move on to family counseling. And then, we talked about treatment plans, treatment settings, then individual treatment, group counseling, family counseling is where we're at this week. And you'll have a quiz 3 on chapter 7, 8, 9, individual, group, and family counseling, which you will be a part of all 3 as LCDCs, right? Individual, you'll have individual sessions. Again, you will be group facilitators, no question. And even family counseling. Remember, we're not LMFTs. We're not licensed marriage and family therapists. We don't have to. Our family sessions are more educational than they are deep therapy. So don't get nervous or feel like you got to know all that. Remember this: we meet with in those settings as it relates to the substance use disorder, which you will become experts at, right? So that's we stay in that lane. But as I've said from the beginning, we're going to meet all kinds of people, families, groups, multicultural things. And it's very important we're multicultural competent clinicians, LCDCs, LPCs, all of us, right? So that leads us to the following week is special cultures and, relapse prevention is next week. So then that's chapter 10. You won't have anything due that week. But remember, I kind of got all that messed up. I'm sorry. This week, Melvin, sorry, my dog's over there acting out. He sees a turtle on the TV. Let me back way up. I got sidetracked here. This week is week 11. You don't have anything due. Tonight, your quiz is due by the end of tonight. That's what it is. So this week, you don't have anything due. You read chapter 10 on relapse prevention. But remember, next week you have chapters 11 and 12 and quiz on 10, 11, and 12. So you might want to, jump ahead of the game this week. But next week is on special populations and diverse cultures. I gave you that story about a Nigerian lady I worked with. It's very important. And cultures can be a lot of different ways. As you guys working with veterans know, that's a culture of its own. It doesn't have to be race or ethnicity necessarily. So that said, then you have quiz 4. Then the following week, week 13, you have a DB5 on prevention, which we'll talk more about along the way. Then you have your Easter break, and then you're down to 2 papers, right? Both super easy. Well, one super easy, a reflection paper. I'll talk much more about that on the way out. But you have a theories paper, so I want you to really start thinking about now as we move past the treatment planning and into the counseling. You have a choice of 2 theories I want you to look at. One is cognitive behavioral therapy. The other is motivational interviewing. And you can, in chapter 7 from last 2 weeks ago, you can, they touch on that. So your textbook will be one of your resources as always, but you're going to have to find another resource as well to discuss CBT work or MI, whichever you choose. You can use any other textbook, any scholarly resource there. But these are the 2 most predominantly used theoretical orientations, in my opinion, when it comes to substance use disorders. I use them for everything, I think, in some way, right? I think they work well together. Motivational interviewing talks about rolling with the resistance, right? Not Let the truth do the confronting, right? Is MI. On one hand, you say you want to stop drinking. On the other hand, you're in the bar every 5 nights. On one hand, you say you want to stop drinking. On the other hand, you're drinking at home every day. Right? On one hand, you say you want to do this. The other hand, you're not. Your behavior is doing something. Just let the facts do the confronting. I don't have to challenge. I don't have to. That is challenging, but I challenge with the facts, right? So MI is a wonderful theory. What are you willing to do? Not what can I tell you to do. What are you willing to do? Cognitive behavioral therapy, in a nutshell, says if I change my thinking, it changes my behavior, changing the way I feel, right? That works wonders. Now, a lot of people will challenge that and say, well, I saw this guy on TikTok and all I see is this big mustache. I mean, I'm kind of envious, honestly. I mean, just like it's this thing, right? And he's cut up, man. He's all yoked up. And he's like, I used to be 300 pounds. And he's like, I didn't get this way by standing in front of the mirror and saying I need to do something, 6 inches from the mirror. He's like, I took action. So there's merit to that. But of course, as the therapist, and he's like, whoa, slow down. The 6 inches in front of the mirror, maybe not technically, but that's so important as well, right? Because for me, I'll tell you, in some scenarios, the thinking inspires the action. Other scenarios, he's right. I need to take the action and the thinking will follow. But you'll get the idea. Look, cognitive behavioral therapy is a wonderful, wonderful theoretical orientation. And as you probably already know, or if not, I'm going to let you in on this little secret. Theoretical orientation is very important, but not as important as relationship. Because I don't care what theoretical orientation you use. If you don't have a relationship with that person or a rapport, I don't want to talk to you if I don't trust you or if I don't feel safe or you haven't created that environment for me to feel that way in, right? So, they're both great theories. You'll use them both. I'm certain of it. But this is your intro into that. So, guys, again, well done on the treatment plans. I'm going to keep this one short. You see what's coming up. Nothing due this week. Next week, quiz 4. Remember, you have 2 chapters next week. Excuse me. This will be your last, your quiz today, and then you have one other quiz in 2 weeks. That'll be your last quiz, and then you have one more DB, and then it's just the 2 papers, and when we're out. So, guys, keep grinding. Stay strong. If I can be of any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great week.